At the end of the Cretaceous period, the Tyrannosaurus rex stood uncontested as the ultimate apex predator of North America. For decades, the assumption about its origins was simple. Scientists figured this giant predator evolved right in its own backyard, slowly scaling up from smaller, local dinosaurs over millions of years. The problem with that assumption is the North American fossil record has a massive gap. Look closely at the timeline, and the tyrant king seems to materialize out of thin air, fully formed and ready to hunt. To figure out where this monster actually came from, we have to completely abandon North America and look to the other side of the planet. In the early 1970s, paleontologists digging in the harsh deserts of eastern Mongolia unearthed a highly fragmented set of dinosaur bones. Because they were in such rough shape, the bones were misidentified as a common species. They were locked away in archive cabinets and largely ignored for half a century. Then, in 2023, researchers pulled those bones out for a fresh look. Deep inside the nasal bone, they spotted a hollow air chamber, a highly specific anatomical signature found in an entirely different family of dinosaurs. They realized they were looking at a completely unknown predator. They named it Conculu mongoliensis, the Dryden prince. At 4 meters long, this nimble creature looked exactly like a teenage T-Rex built for speed, but it stalked prey 20 million years earlier. This Mongolian fossil reveals that the T-Rex origin story was a massive intercontinental epic. 86 million years ago, the Asian ecosystem was ruled by these early tyrannosaurs. They were fast, lightweight, and highly efficient hunters that dominated the landscape. When global sea levels fluctuated, a land bridge emerged. These fast-moving Asian predators spilled over into North America. Once they arrived, they experienced an evolutionary explosion, rapidly diversifying to adapt to different types of prey. But despite this successful colonization of the Americas, the true giant ancestor of the T-Rex was still nowhere to be found. Roughly 78 million years ago, a lineage of these North American tyrannosaurs did an evolutionary about-face, crossing the land bridge back into Asia. This triggered a second evolutionary explosion, splitting the lineage into 2 completely different directions to survive. One group developed incredibly elongated, slender snouts, nicknamed Pinocchio dinosaurs, which were perfectly adapted for rapid, snapping bites to catch smaller prey. The second group, including predators like tarbosaurs, abandoned speed entirely. Instead, they developed massive, deep skulls, engineered specifically for extreme bite force, allowing them to crush solid bone. The harsh Asian environment acted as an evolutionary forge, refining the genetic blueprint for immense size and devastating, bone-shattering power. Armed with this lethal new anatomy, these massive predators began a steady march across the prehistoric forests of the land bridge. Sometime between 73 and 67 million years ago, these Asian-forged bone-crushing giants crossed back into North America for one final time. They stepped on already populated by other formidable dinosaurs. With their unmatched size and bite force, they bypassed the competition and slotted themselves at the absolute top of the food chain. The T-Rex was a highly evolved, globe-trotting immigrant that arrived with the tools to conquer a new continent. Biologically, the T-Rex was a devastatingly effective invasive species. This 20 million year intercontinental ping-pong demonstrates that evolutionary history is a sprawling, chaotic web. That web is dictated entirely by the shifting of continents, the temporary opening of land bridges, and severe environmental pressures. And that web was still being woven when a massive asteroid abruptly slammed into the Earth's atmosphere, wiping out the established global order. The T-Rex was really just the latest iteration in a global arms race. If that rock had missed, the intercontinental ping-pong would have continued, inevitably mutating the tyrant king into something even stranger.